GM everyone. So today I'm going to walk you through how you can seamlessly lease out a GPU from Spheron Marketplace seamlessly, and then we will deploy a small workload, which the application which I've built, to see how it is working. And then what I'm going to do after that is we will deploy the entire YAML file on which I have already Dockerized and everything. And then we are going to test that out in my front end, which I've also created. So let's directly jump into that. But before I do that, you need to consider a few things, right? Before you start using Spheron, you have to fund your account so you can go ahead and deposit and ensure that the enough fund is there. And once you are done with that, come to the marketplace. This is where you have to come. Click on the rent. So for example, I'm going to be renting out RTX A6000s for my testing purpose. And I'll be releasing this Jupyter notebook and passing a token called testing. So this is the token which I would be needing to go ahead and use to log into the Jupyter. So just click on confirm. Once you confirm it, there's a transaction which gets executed behind the scene, and then you get the output of it. And the output is a URL which you'll receive. So let's wait till this happens. Before it is happening, but what I'm going to walk you through also is quickly the code base which I spoke about. This is what I have written. It's a fairly simple code base which basically walks you through how you can use Lora adapters to basically have two different models on a single GPU, or load two different models on a single GPU just by switching the context. So that is what I'm using here. If you are willing to use this, you are free to go ahead and use that. I have also attached front end example here as well. You can use the same front end to also digest the endpoint of it. Now let's go back again. So here, if you can see, our GPU got deployed. The pricing which we have received is around $0.18, which is fairly good. Now I can go back to the overview, click on here, and once we are here, what we are going to be seeing is the URL. So this is the URL on which you have to open. You can click on this URL. And once you click open this one, it will start basically showing up that GPU which you have deployed. All right. So if I can see here, my Jupyter notebook is loaded and it's working fine. So generally it takes some time because there is some warm up, and if there is no image available on that particular node, then it just takes some time to download, and then after that you will be able to see that. So this is how it's going to be looking like. So now I'm going to pass this token called testing here. Once I hit enter, log in. Once you log in, then it will just a normal Jupyter notebook using which you can perform the testing. Now in the meantime, let me just go ahead and copy my code here. All right, let's wait for this to open up properly. All right, so we are here now. So now as a Jupyter notebook, you can do a Python file, which I'll be creating here. Just rename it to, I'm going to be renaming it to main.py. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to paste here my LLM, like the entire code base which I have written here. Now, in order to use this, because these some of the models which I'll be using here, it's a gated model on HF. So please ensure that you have Hugging Face API key added here while you are testing it to ensure that it works properly. Now, what I'm going to do is basically copy my Hugging Face API key. Again, I'll remove this API key so it cannot be exploited, but this is my API key which I'm putting here. And then either you can also pass it via OAS, like you can pass it as a env as well, and it's up to you, but I have just kept it as it is. So a developer has choice whatever they wish, the way they wish to kind of pass it here. Now, once it is done, the next thing which we have to do is go and create a requirement.txt, which is very important for us to install all the dependencies. Let me just go here, click here, rename requirements.txt. All right, let's wait. Yeah, it got renamed. Now let's go back here and find out where is requirement.txt. Copy this as it is. Come back here, paste it here. Alright, let's open the terminal quickly. And I'm going to merge this terminal with the main one. Alright, so what I'm going to say is pip install -r requirements.txt. So once you do this, what it does, it basically downloads all the dependencies and ensures that you have all the dependencies installed. But before we move, I have done it already, but if you want to validate that the GPU which you have ordered from the marketplace is the same one, you can say NVIDIA-SMI, and now I can see that there is a A6000 machine which I have already ordered, and it is up and running properly fine. So once you are done with the testing of the NVIDIA like SMI and ensuring that the same GPU which you are looking forward to use, now the next stage is go ahead and let's run our Python codes to build our code base. Python main.py. So what it basically does, it basically spins up a small server for me, which I can curl on the server directly. So let's say I've already got my curl command ready, so I'm going to be using the same curl command, but you can use whatever curl command you have. So for example, in my case, I'll be using Dobby for our testing. So now let's go back here, open one more terminal. All right, so this is my already preset curl command. I can enter this. The moment I do this, it says like Dobby 3.18b not supported on base. So essentially there must be some error. Okay, so I have named it as Dobby 8b. So I just need to quickly change my input. All right, so here you go. All right, so it looks like it just picked up. Now what we are going to see is the Dobby will get downloaded, give it some time, and once it's downloaded, it will respond to the query which I have, basically the prompt which I have already passed here. There are a few things which I have done here is we are using this model cache. Basically, like here, all the models which are getting downloaded is going to be get downloaded and cached so that it doesn't downloads again and again to ensure that we have a high efficiency while we are switching the models. And I'll also show you how you can download the other model using the same, because I will be downloading this Llama 3.18b as well. So I'll pass this and see is like how it basically functions. So let's wait for Dobby to kind of download, and then we will query and prompt with multiple prompts into it. In the meantime, it is downloading. Let's do one thing is that we'll go and directly deploy on spheron.yml, which I have already created here. I have already built this entire image around Dobby, like basically this entire thing which I have written here on the fast API. That entire API is wrapped into this particular Docker container image. So let's copy this image and deploy this and quickly integrate into the UI and see how everything just functions. So let me just go here and go to the playground, copy and paste it here. This is the machine which I need. I'm ready to pay ACST and all of those stuff. Done. All right, so let's do the deployment. Okay, so here is the YML. If you kind of see, it is a secured one. So I'm deploying this entire model on a secured machine, which we already have on our marketplace. So if you want to deploy on community, you can choose community. If you have secured, you can deploy on secure. Again, secure is tier which is above tier 3 or even equals to tier 3. So if there is no machine available, it will not deploy. But I know that in the secure, there are machines, some other machines are also available. So let's wait for the deployment to happen. And once this happens, then we'll see an endpoint which will come up here. All right. So now I can see this endpoint which is up and running. Let's see. Okay. So the server is already running. if I go to this server and say /models, it should give me the models which we are currently supporting. All right. So this is the model which we are supporting now. Now just copy this particular URL, go back here, configure API, and this is the UI which I have kind of built for myself for a quick testing. And if you want to also test it out, you can do as well. So let's save it. Now once it is saved, now I can see like this is 32149, the same URL endpoint which we have just deployed. Let's ask Dobby the question, hey, how can you help me? So essentially the first response will take some time because it downloads the entire model and then it gives a response. So let's send the prompt. See, this is still downloading, so it just takes some time to kind of download. The same time is going to be taking here also because it just takes some time to download. But in the meantime, what I can also show you is quickly one more thing here. If I go back here, there is something called this duration and all of these resources. So ensure that you are passing the duration, like how many hours, how many like time days or months you require. And then this is where the token basically comes into the picture. So you have to pass, like for example, $2 I'm passing. So essentially I would need $4 in my account to basically make this happen, because 2 is the per hourly cost is going to be $2, and then multiply by 2, then this is what it's going to be. But one more thing you have to remember here is like whatever amount you put here, it is not going to be bidding on the same amount. So it basically chooses the lowest amount and then it just reverses you that output. All right, let's wait for all the downloads to happen. Okay, so we can see here this model is getting downloaded for the first time, so it will take some time. All right, looks like our model is downloaded here. All the checkpoints are getting loaded. I think now it will take around 2 more minutes to kind of load all the checkpoints, and then it should be able to respond us here. One more thing you can always do is if you're using like Jupyter, then there is always a Git integration which is here. If you, let's say, if I would not have just copy pasted the things, I would have just cloned the repository by passing the repository URL. It would have done the same work like for me versus like I'm myself going and doing the copy pasting. So depends like how much you are used to of Jupyter. So you can do that as well. 50% shards are loaded now. Let's wait for some more time to happen. And yeah, man, this is how much time it takes always. Like if you're doing LLM thingy. Amazing. So it looks like our model is loaded and it has also responded to us. Amazing. So it is saying like, hey, how are you? I wrote and it's and Dobby is saying like, I'm good, thanks, what's up? Far nervously. I have been thinking maybe you to grab a bunch of oh man, like the response is quite crazy of like Dobby. If somebody is planning to build some kind of agents around it, it will be amazing to kind of see that. We are also working and planning to launch a small agent or you can say launch an entire unhinged chat box using Dobby itself. So you should be able to go and play around with that shortly. But if you are planning to use the same, or if you're planning to deploy the same, you can go ahead and do that. Very simple and straightforward, as I've just shown. Either if you want, you can use this code as it is, go ahead and do that, or you can build your own from the scratch and do it. So it's very fairly and straightforward and simple. Now let's go back to this LLM chat interface. It will take some more time before it gets loaded. So essentially what I want to show you here is like how easy it is to do it. Now let's say if I want to switch my model from Dobby to some other model, right? The model which we are going to be passing is like 3.18b. Now if I have to do this, what I have to do is I'm using the same GPU. I'm not changing GPU now here. Like literally no, I'm not changing a GPU. But what I'm going to do is I'll just change the model which I want to consume. In this case, I'll be using the model name, which is MetaLlama 3.18b instruct. So what you are going to see is it will start downloading the latest MetaLlama 3. 1.8b instruct, and it will start using that, and it will start using it for inferencing. So let's wait for it to kind of get downloaded. But this is how easy to kind of switch the models. And once you have downloaded these models are getting cached. So essentially what is happening is like next time you don't have to like re-download it again and again. So you can just click switch. It just works. So this is how easy it is to kind of like use Spheron end to end and build something which is quite cool and amazing. And the best part about is like I don't even have to commit 3 months of compute time, commit 5 months of compute time just to lease out this compute. I can just lease out for how many time, whatever time I need it. And then once you have those machines up and running, then you are all sorted. You just go ahead inside those machine and do whatever you wish to. So this is the beauty of Spheron. This is the beauty of the Spheron marketplace also. Now, if you have your own machine and if you're willing to connect that, you can go ahead and do that as well, which I'm going to show you down the line as well, like how you can set up the machine, or you can lease out retail grade machines and deploy a Jupyter Notebook on top of it and access it as well. We'll cover it in the next session, but for now it is the use case which I wanted to show you, like how easy it is to do it. If time allows me, then I can also wait for a couple of more time. Let's see what is the time, how much time it is we have been recording. Yeah, I think I can wait for a couple of more minutes to showcase everything. Amazing. So I think so it looks like our UI interface is working quite fine. Now I can say, how can you help me? I think Dobby's response is like crazy. So let's wait for the response to come in. Again, I'll give you a shit posting code like no one else. Okay. Can you help me to create an AI agent? Okay, so essentially you can go ahead and chat with Dobby quite seamlessly, just following your localhost. You can deploy this anywhere you want to. And then for this Sphere, like from our side, as I've told, like you can literally make the changes and say, hey, and then it will download that new version of Olama, and not Olama, it's Llama. And then once it's downloaded, you can use that as well. So let's wait for the download to happen. Again, one more thing here is that it's a very not so optimized code and all of those stuff. So don't go to the code. If you are planning to use and add some optimization layer, feel free to go ahead and do that. But this is just an example to showcase you like how fast you can go from your local to global without like wasting a lot of capital money in leasing or committing your compute. Like you can go ahead and go to Spheron, lease out compute, test out the stuff which you are looking forward, and then go ahead and do that. Even in our case, we already have, I think in the Fizz network, let me just go and see what is happening in the Fizz. If you are building something which is very Mac centric or some GPUs from the community, you can go ahead and do that as well. So, okay, so I need to log in, which I'm not going to do it now. Let it be as it is. Let it be as it is. But you can go to the Fizz and you can also lease out the retail grade GPUs and CPUs. Thank God. It's always that last sharding point is something which just loads faster because of the size, or else it will just take a lot of time to load everything and run. And by the way, you can also use the same process to fine tune any models which you are looking forward. And I'll also work on some fine tuning examples which I'll bring in. But you can use the same way, like you have Jupyter Notebook, you have all the access of the system, whatever you want to go ahead and do it without any problems. Now let's wait for this to load it. Okay, so now it's essentially it's loading everything, all the shard checkpoints. All right, so model looks like successfully loaded, and also I might have received the response. Now I'm going to show you a very quick and amazing thing. So let's say now if I want to switch back things to Dobby and I can ask a question here. So I'm going to receive the response way faster than it was supposed to be, right? Now I can switch back the Dobby to Llama, and then I can just again receive the response with the same speed. And this is the beauty of adapters. And like you can have the single GPU and you can upload multiple models on top of it and use it at its best and highest capacity possible to test out all your use cases. So this is how you can you can build everything from scratch to to kind of go to production code via Spheron, and also you can go ahead and deploy the same thing on Spheron as well. So if I can go here, so for example, in my case, I was using this UI to kind of like query and prompt the things. You can integrate the same API endpoint which we have just created here to in your production ready applications or wherever you want to. So yeah, this is how easy to kind of run and lease out on-demand compute from Spheron and go from your local to global at a way cheaper cost without committing a huge amount of capital, without locking in any huge amount of capital. Pay upfront, lease the compute, go and innovate. This is what Spheron is bringing for everyone. And the best part, most of the things which we have done here, from leasing the compute for the payment and everything, it's all Web3 native and it's all on-chain. So you can go and verify, validate each and everything on Spheron. So yeah, looking forward to bring you guys more and more exciting ways of building along with Spheron. And stay tuned till then. And if you need any compute help regarding spinning up the compute, or you need any help in designing your systems, or if you need any help on connecting the system to Spheron or doing anything around Spheron, feel free to reach us out on our Twitter, or you can also reach us out on our Discord. We are very active there. We'll be more than happy to respond to your queries. Thank you so much. Let's keep building and let's keep shipping. Cheers.